Welcome back to Chadron, Nebraska for this edition of the RMAC Showcase. This next person is no stranger to the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, having served as the RMAC commissioner for more than a decade before taking over as the athletic director here at Chadron State in 2013. To some, it might seem like a step down to go from the commissioner of a conference to back on campus. But for Joel Smith, he hasn't regretted it for a minute.
Dr. Ryan has been so supportive of that and wants to see our role really fit into the rest of the mission of the college. That's been really huge. Then you add the building that we have, and we knew the building was online. They hadn't started digging yet, but when I came here, but they knew the building was coming. And so it was exciting to get back on campus and do some things like that. And so it just became a very enticing thing for me.
That building is a great addition that rivals some of the best in the country.
Before, we were working in a building that was built in 1960. We didn't have really any significant office space for our pet people. And the gym wasn't very nice either. And now we have this, $16 million facility that's got office space for us, that's got locker room space for our kids, a new weight room, and then of course a venue where we can actually do some things.
That's just the beginning. This coming fall, Chadron State will break ground on an upgrade to the football stadium.
Our football stadium was built in 1929, the central piece of it. And we found out a couple of years ago that it was deteriorating to a point where we really need to do something in the next 5 years. So the state has actually given us some funding, and we've been doing some fundraising. But at the end of the football season next year, we're gonna, as soon as that last game's over, we're gonna tear it down and put a new one up.
And if Smith has his way, the number of student athletes on campus will also increase in the near future.
We are at the point where we are looking at adding some sports, and we probably this spring we probably will come out with a game plan for the next probably for the next 20 years, as far as what we're going to do with sports and how we're going to add them.
The school as a whole saw another change at a major position in 2013. Dr. Randy Ryan was named the school's 11th president in January of that year. On campus since the 05-06 school year, Randy Ryan has worked his way up to the top spot on campus, including some time as the interim president. One of the things that really drew Dr. Ryan to Chadron was the small town environment.
One of the great things about being president here is I know a lot of the students. I get to know a lot of them. I get to know a lot of the student athletes. I go to a lot of athletic events and get to know those students. And the student athletes get to know the fans. We have a very consistent fan base here that comes out and is very supportive of our athletic program. And so it's a place where you're going to come and you're going to know people, and not a lot of anonymity here.
Knowing everyone can be a good reason to get out of a small town, but that's something the school is hoping to change, especially when it comes to the practice of law and medicine.
This fall we'll be starting, we're recruiting our first class of students into what we call our RLOP program, the Rural Law Opportunities Program. And we'll be accepting 5 students into that program this fall. That guarantees them a slot in the law school in Lincoln. There is an expectation that they will come back to rural Nebraska and practice. And the majority of the folks that have come through the RHOP program have done that. And we're very proud of that and being able to serve the needs of rural Nebraska.
They're also looking to continue to serve the needs of every Chadron student by upgrading one of the most used buildings on campus.
We are working on raising money right now and garnering support for a renovation to our math and science building, which is that's a building that almost every student on campus will have at least one class in, probably 2, sometimes more. And it's also the home for our science and math programs, and we have a very strong math program as well as a science program that supports our health professions program.
Thank you to both Joel Smith and Dr. Ryan for taking time out of their very busy schedules to sit down and talk with me. Just at the other end of this complex, the Chadron State wrestling team had a big opportunity to make a huge statement as the second-placed Eagles welcomed in first place Colorado Mesa. To the mat, Chadron State hosting Colorado Mesa, who is yet to lose a dual meet this season. 133 pounds, Taylor Summers has his opponent in a tough spot, and the third-ranked wrestler in the region gets the pin, putting the Eagles up 9-0 early. That lead would quickly disappear. Mesa won 4 straight matches, including a 22-6 technical fall by defending region champ Daniel Salazar. The Eagles had some ground to make up late. They started at 174 pounds, where this 4-point near fall helped Chance Helmick win a match between 2 ranked wrestlers. The second to last weight class, 197 pounds, Matthew Kindler with a 2-point takedown. He would eventually win 3-0 as Chadron is down 5 heading into the final match. Heavyweight and Chadron native Cooper Coggill really just messing with his opponent. He earns the technical fall and 5 points to end the match tied at 20. We have to go to a tiebreaker. And based on 5-point victories, Chadron State tops Mesa to stay unbeaten in dual meets. We've hit halftime of this edition of the RMAC Showcase. When we return, the track and field team will take center stage as they continue to break records and earn the right to compete amongst the top athletes in the world. Don't go anywhere.